things. And the air. It's getting colder. It doesn't know what it's doing. So I just saw Avatar. So you don't have to. I've been one of them. Was it the third one? Fourth one? Third one. I've been the worst movies I've ever seen. I think I just go to the movies to watch garbage, basically. It had some spiritual stuff that was good. Yeah, some of it was really kind of uncomfortable. Yeah, like one of the kids is like a teenage girl, and she's like getting overly excited, connected to nature. It was kind of the Sigourney Weaver character. That was uncomfortable. This is a kids movie, man. In theory, right? I don't know. The James Cameron board, probably. Yeah, without going into spoilers and all that, they had the fire lady in it, and she was interesting. They didn't do a lot with her though. They could have. Yeah, it was weird. They turned her into someone's girlfriend instead. That was dumb. It figures, right? I mean, Cameron is in his 70s, so, you know. But she could have been the main villain and did something interesting. But they didn't do anything interesting with the fire stuff at all. They got intense, but they're kind of like Indians. Yeah, it was. This is a bad movie, man. It's. I mean, if you got 3 hours to throw away, I didn't say it at the end. I couldn't take it anymore. I figured just a typical ending, and it was bad. Damn, it was bad. The more I think about it, it's like I had some spiritual, like I said, some spiritual stuff with the fire lady. The fire lady probably the best stuff in there, and you just wanted to see more of her doing like crazy shit, and you didn't see it. You're like doing hallucinogen type stuff, and you want her to win, but they didn't do anything with her. So, well, you want to see what she was gonna do. You want to see that has the upper hand, and they didn't do anything with her. So they just turned her into someone's girlfriend. And I was like, God, is that lame? Typical Hollywood, though, right? The Hollywood fantasy. So the gangsters always win in the end, I guess. Oh, it's such a bad movie. I don't remember the second one. That was bad. They're all none of them are any really good, really. They're just spectacles and all that. Whatever. I was curious. That was kind of a last minute thing. Seeing it, it's all its glory, all its mediocre glory. Yeah, it's kind of messed up where it has to be eye candy to get people in the theater and all that. And just, whatever, man. Just, yeah. They could, I don't know if they'll make another. Hopefully, if they make another, hopefully it's not the same thing. 'Cause, yeah, this is a rehash of the second one. I'm not sure if it's a rehash of the first one, but I think there's some similarities to it. But just, oh my God. But it is, it has the aliens. I mean, the alien stuff is advancing movie technology. So it's doing that. Alien realms, I guess, according to this. Of course, yeah, some other spiritual douchebag podcasts that they saw symbolism and all that. And the other one, maybe there was some of that, but this one, yeah, they get excited over sliced bread, but whatever. But this one, yeah, it has some spiritual modalities that are kind of fascinating. I don't know if it's esoteric, I guess, but they didn't do anything with half of it or any of it, so whatever. And oh yeah, the alien realms. So if you don't have a 9-to-5 job, so all you do is go to a water world and just play with the whales, I guess. Of course, they have some military stuff going on there, and that's when they bring a machine gun into anything, if you use such a low frequency, almost a little lazy. I guess if it's a laser gun, it's a little bit more higher frequency, which is interesting. But machine gun is very low frequency. Something about that energy, it just feels, yeah, it just feels like it doesn't really belong in something like that. Because it's supposed to be like the future or some kind of higher evolved reality, right? Of course, for some to say it's a secret space program, there could be some of that going on, and God, some people can take it to a whole nother level, but oh God, environmentalist hell. This is more about family. A family that's not that interesting. That's boring, and I don't remember any of the characters because they're all boring. From all the other ones, they're just horrible. Just whatever. It's all just for eye candy. But like I say, for spiritual stuff, it has some. That's about the only good parts of this, and it's not much. It's like a postcard, postage stamp, compared to the rest of it's cringy. It's hard. If it didn't have like James Cameron's name on it, I doubt anybody would care about this. I don't know if they care anyway. Actually, they don't. So it's too bad it has to be looks to get people, whatever. It's like anything else. Well, it's like spirituality where you have to be overly positive. Same thing. It's just sometimes spectacle. Spectacle is over the message. Yeah, just so many here are just not really ready to go deeper into much of anything. They say they are, but I don't know about that. If it is, it's about aliens or just bringing in their traumas and all that and then expand. I don't know. Doesn't mean they're always healing it and so on. Whatever. So yeah. Well, at least that Avatar energy is definitely alien. I mean, alien stuff is, you have Star Wars to help us evolve. The movie industry has aliens in it, and you have this thing that has aliens in it. So the frequency, eventually this stuff would become so cheap where it'll be easy to access. So they're working on the technologies, which is interesting. And then eventually people will be, doing this on their computers for nothing. Making their own movies, for nothing. For nothing like, there'd probably be some kind of cost, but nothing like how much you're paying for it now. It's kind of funny. In due time. They can make your own alien movies and all that. Oh yeah, and have one that's going to premiere right after this. One of the Disclosure films I'm playing around with, and I'm going to have another, just kind of like the Disclosure series. We'll see how that goes. Different situations, something different. Add some humor to it. Have some fun with it. All aliens, no play. But it's not about, it's funny. It's spiritual entertainment, going where the aliens are, talking about their worlds. But the idea is to heal this reality, help you evolve in this. Or not everyone's ready for that, obviously. It just, like I said, with the Archon, it has a lot of, the thoughts create this physical realm. And we're here to balance that energy, evolve. It's still going to be physical, but just, heal the physicality so we can bring in more of a higher dimensional, even as telepathic point of view, but also to help others or help someone, something, somewhere. So not too telepathic, because it can be sometimes damaging, especially when you connect to someone. Because a lot of people are not telepathic, of course, but a thought can really attack. And it's, so you start becoming more telepathic, and then you connect to somebody that's not telepathic, but they can feel your energy and just insult you mentally or something. It can actually give you a headache or make you sick or something like that. It tells you how powerful the thought process is. So to look at religion, like it's the fear of God in people, and Think of like that think about that. It's like how many are under that like need Jesus to save them and all that, and they're not ready. They're nowhere near ready to save themselves yet, and so they're that heavy. That energy is very heavy, and it goes on to generations, and some generations can break it. Why do I get the vibe like so that's why some people would join satanic energy, I guess, to break out of that. I can see why. Not to say that's much better, but I just picked up on that. It's like, okay, yeah, it make kind of, I don't know where that goes after that. Because that's where the Luciferian energy. Well, the Luciferian energy depends on how you look at it. I would say it's more belief system energy, but I think those that heal the fear of God out of themselves and allow more of their they don't have to call it metaphysics, just more of their telepathic abilities or healing ability to come through and not let the church or the mindset control them. You can still learn from it. You're just not letting you can still be into the Bible and all that. You're just not letting, that fear, because the mindset is just be like everybody else, right? To be lost. Some might not want to be lost anymore, but they continue on anyway because, dissect the Bible, look at the sentence, and talk about it for 3 hours, which is fine. But as long as you're releasing a lot of just the mindset of you can be more, you can connect to the universe, connect to the world's realities, and of course they'll call that evil or something like that. If you don't call it evil and just allow yourself to expand, it's like you're opening up another book within yourself, and you just expand out of that. You can still, like I say, you can still be big on the whole religious stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that you're opening up another side of yourself, so you can just allow it to be fluid. But obviously not everyone is interested in that. Yeah, the fear of God locks them down. All this stuff is darkness, right? You have the best intentions ever. It's dark. It's like, you're bad. I've already been told that on many levels. Yeah. It's like, we know you're bad, but we're going to find out, trying to get an understanding of reality, and we're still fucking confused. And God sent us here. Whatever. So, yeah, I haven't had one of those in a long time. Yeah. So, what was the self-help energy? Yeah, but they're still finding all this bad, though. Yeah, they're gonna they can reincarnate to this version of Earth or other versions of Earth. Well, wherever they can continue on the fear timeline. Because, that's the thing about, that movie, that Avatar movie, it mentioned that. Motherfuckers, just really, it has some twisted relationship with the psychic girl, the 14-year-old girl that got really uncomfortable with the trees and all that. It's like, that was kind of gross. Yeah, that was some things should be left on they should have cut out. And if an adult was getting all excited on connected to the trees and all of that, I understand that. But this was a fucking kid. That was gross. But like I say, Cameron's a 7-year-old. But anyway, he was, because aren't these, the kids are hanging out. It's like, I don't know. Whatever. This movie's not for me. But anyway, the psychic girl was talking about, this is the 14-year-old or whatever old she is, the Sigourney Weaver character. She was talking about being a spirit guide and talking about spirit realms and all that. But she also said, I think I should have said you have to die for that to happen or something like that, which was interesting. They said, no, don't die and all that, but that's, afterlife stuff she was talking about, just very briefly. So that was different. So I guess it's part of Cameron's, just soft disclosure stuff. Yeah, that's some good spiritual stuff was short, lived, but fascinating. Well, even yeah, the teenage girl got, she just followed her intuition to connect to the trees and then do something very inappropriate. But if it was for a healing, it was a healing ritual, which was, that all made sense. But why it have to be a 14-year-old, I'll never know. That was very not, like I say, it's made by an old man, so come on, man. If that was like a human, that would not go in. I mean, if that, because it's an alien, so I guess it can pass. If that was like a human girl doing that shit, I'd imagine they would cut that out, or maybe not. I mean, yeah, maybe they would, because that's kind of creepy. That was creepy. Yeah, if it was an adult, yeah, that's one thing. That was not an adult, so yeah, she connected to her magical powers, and yeah, it was very inappropriate. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, the modern world. It's funny what you can sneak in there, huh? But yeah, I did have some of that spiritual stuff that was, spirit guide stuff, and like I said, the tree lady, the fire lady. Yeah, she had like a, yeah, would she like violate other people's energy and all? Yeah, she would tap into them and mess them up. But she's creepy anyway, so it makes sense. See, that makes sense. Maybe it's a maybe it is, but that because she's an adult. Yeah, she's sinister and all that. So yeah, no, she plugs her energy into someone else and messes them up. That's like a Medusa type shit, and yeah, that makes sense. But she's the bad guy. You gotta do bad things. That passes, and it's all not a 14-year-old doing that. God, man, what the fuck? Just because you make it a 14-year-old kid, you can get away with shit? It's an alien? Well, how does that work exactly? Yeah, well, whatever, right? Like I said, the modern world. But yeah, the fire lady would violate the energy of people, tap them into them and mess them up. That was cool. Yeah, it was a violation. It was not good. But, for a bad guy, it made sense. And it adds some intrigue. And, get into their dreams, their thoughts, and all that, mind control, and whatever, yeah. And just, like, kind of disable a person, at least for a short time. Kind of like a Medusa type thing. Kind of not turning them to stone, but something similar to that. Just shutting them down, which is messed up. But for a villain, it's perfect. An adult villain. Because if it was a 14-year-old villain, that would be creepy. That would be so fucking wrong. Yeah. I guess people here, I don't know, man. I don't know if people are that dumb. Or that twisted. Anyway. Yeah, spirituality, funny what you can get away with if it turned into an alien, so anyway, but yeah, enough of that. We'll do I feel the Andromeda energy. Yeah, those avatar beings can be any type. It can be all kinds of. It's like it's like an avatar of different species. Palladium beings can be similar to that to some level. Beings, humanoids that are similar to half human, half canine, feline, whatever, half something, half animal. So I imagine there's several different species that are connected to that. So yeah, it's just this is a weird, yeah. Well, also, Cameron came up with this idea when he was younger. He said he was 19, had a vision of a high vibrational, luminescent forest. But also, people are sending after that. Like, he would get scripts on, people would send him story ideas about about a forest that's all lit up, luminescent reality. I don't know if the stories are exactly the same, even lawsuits on that. Of course, he got thrown out. It's funny how some other people are picking up on the same reality, which is interesting. I don't know if the stories are the same. Basically, Pocahontas with aliens. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, there's versions of Earth that definitely have that energy, and you can say that's what we're here to evolve into at some point. Yeah, maybe not the blue people. I mean, maybe I don't know. That's up to if that's your thing. Oh yeah, it does have like a Lemurian energy connected to it, the Avatar beings, which makes sense, and they're connected to water also. Not that those beings, I don't know. I find them kind of uncomfortable actually, but because all that crap they're carrying around, at least from the movie, their energy is not. I never really tapped into it. Yeah, their energy is kind of crap. Because they're walking around with machine guns and stuff, right? It is a war. It's Indians in space, basically, right? So, which makes sense why the vibes are just not great. They're burning out the forest, they're fighting the white people over and over again. Sounds exciting. So, yeah, their energy. I mean, it's perfect for education, definitely. All the violence and all that's perfect for you know, to understand the higher dimensions and all that version of it. So that makes sense. But those Avatar beings, the other energy sucks. Even the good ones, because it's all drama infused. But like I say, for education, it makes sense. Of course, imagine a lot of these movies all sit with a lot of people. But when you look from a spiritual side of it, it's pretty fascinating. Yeah, the second one, all I had to do, I mean, I don't remember the second one that much, but I just connected to a whale and just doing whale stuff. Whatever. Yeah, here's this whale that's all beat up. Thank God, it sucks to be him. Some of us feel that way, though. So anyway, to do a connection with the Andromedans. Just leave it at that. So, all right, blessings. Blessings. Greece, Andromedans. Yes, Avatar is just like an educational figure, basically. It's a mixture of different species. It's just, there's a lot of propaganda around it also. It can in some ways to block people from understanding the alien stuff. For those that think of it as, it's a gateway. It's not a drug, but it's just, are you willing to go further and to understand, it's on a spiritual level. You're giving pieces of it, but also you see all the violence they're dealing with all the time. Not that you have to attract that, but just see what they had to go through to get to you. Because it's right now entertainment. They're at a low frequency. They're fourth dimension, but also they still have a lot of dealings to deal with within themselves, and all of human stuff has been put in there also. But they're okay with that to help people learn, because people are attracted by violence and all these mixed up culture energies and confusion, and so they can relate. So the Avatar is just just an avatar of an alien being that's just to help people find themselves. It doesn't mean you have to be too engaged in these films, but there is self-disclosure, but there's an outside of it, the spectacle. But as you start to break it down, there's little elements there, and are you willing to go further into it without getting pulled into all the propaganda and all that, to clear that, because you clear all the Indian stuff, clear all the traumas, and you can see the spiritual modalities and what they're trying to convey. But also, once again, it shows that species is a bit haunted. Because the humans that they're battling, they have inherited a lot of their troubles. So that doesn't mean this reality does not exist. And yeah, just you don't necessarily have to bring that into your frequency. But it is showing that well, even those beings are not that spiritually connected. They might be alien. Well, they still go by the laws of their species, but they're not always spiritually understanding themselves. And these are alien groups. Don't you think they'd all be kind of aware? But no. Some of them are savages. And just kids and just, naive. So it just shows spirituality is still difficult even as an alien being, is what we're getting at. Yes, there's some religious connections that they're used to, rituals, but still spirituality is not something that's easy understood, inherited, and so on, and utilized. So just because you're connected to the astral plane doesn't mean they know anything either. They're in the astral plane, but it doesn't mean they know their psychic abilities yet. They don't have their, they might have knowledge to some level, but they don't know everything. Yeah, their spiritual self is not fully developed, and it takes a while. That's why they get pulled into so many difficulties here in the physical, because they haven't quite activated and that's not for everyone. To pull in more of their spirituality and avoid these situations. So, just gives you an understanding that if anything's coming out of this message is the aliens are not always spiritually connected. They're somewhat connected to their intuition, but a lot of them are not real spiritualists. Because in this movie, there's only one. The rest of them just go by what they're told about their rituals and what's through their religion with the trees and all that. So they have some understanding of it. They're open to it, but they're not all utilizing those abilities because they're not there yet. So, blessings.